want to go back.
I love it. All right, so hey, let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk more Raising Arizona. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Movies, Films, and Flicks. And I just started laughing a little bit because on IMDb, we were talking about the nice man at the grocery store, but in the credits, his name is Nice Old Grocery Man. And
that's awesome.
The cellmate that we liked, he's ear-bending cellmate. But I just want to talk about one thing. I want to talk about the fight inside the trailer.
Thank you. I was going to bring that up too.
That is not a long fight. But during that fight, there's a flip, there's a head bonk, there's a gut punch, there's a trip, there's a gnarly knuckle scratch on the roof, there's a smash wall, there's a window smashed by an elbow, there's a cabinet putting a hole through it with a fist, there's a smack and spin, there's, oh gosh, when he starts pulling his nose and fish hooking him, there's nothing worse than a fish hook. And then there's a crash lamp, and then he gets thrown through a wall.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
There's wire work involved, because it's just a bonkers little fight.
There it is.
I mean, but you know what's really... So this is what gets me the most. H.I. flips Gale.
Yes, he does.
It's like judo. Like that. So a geek off the street, if I'm going to quote Young Guns, couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So H.I. knows something. Because you don't just do that to John Goodman.
Okay. Now here we go. Again, right? These are Americana just coming off of the Dukes of Hazzard TV show, Good Old Boys.
Mm-hmm.
They might not run around with the stars and bars, but they know what time it is. They will mess you up. Okay? So, and H.I., as we know, he goes to jail every 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So even though within the prison, there is a general spirited camaraderie, like in combat or a pro sports team, you got to defend yourself sometimes, you know. Right is right. And there's what it is. That's why he punches Glenn in the face. So he definitely knows how to handle himself in a close quarter combat situation. 100%.
Those wiry guys you got to watch out for. I was a bouncer for years. And you could always peg the wiry one that you're like, I hope that guy doesn't start anything tonight because that's going to hurt my back. Like,
I made the decision real quick when I first saw Hoffmeyer. He must be a friend. That guy would choke me up real fast.
But I learned, so the big guys, they get cocky, right? They get some beers in them, they get cocky. I get two of them into a headlock. You just get them out of there because they're just not suspecting that. But then there's these wiry country guys so at Florida State, it was in Tallahassee, but Florida's super country. I don't know if you ever went to Florida. I know you're from I don't know if you're from New York. And
Daytona Beach spring break, brother.
Yeah, oh gosh. But in surrounding Tallahassee, there's a bunch of kind of country area, and you get these kind of country boys coming in. And I was like, this is going to be a heck of a night. This is you always know you're going to have to get into a bunkhouse brawl with a few, and they're tough, man. They're kind of HIs, I guess.
Well, the thing about it is, when you're in these fights, you know that the ceiling is not 12 it's taller than you. So you're not going to scrape your knuckles against the popcorn ceiling, man. Oh. So you know what, if it's got to go down, you're going to rear naked choke some guy, and you're going to collect your bouncer pay and move on.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what's wild? I've never scraped my knuckles on a popcorn ceiling, but when he does that, it's like those horror movies where they pull your fingernails. I feel it.
Visceral. It's insane. Every time I see that, I go, oh God, ow. And I rub my hands together. It looks so painful.
I have no idea what that feels like, but I feel like I've had similar things happen to my hand, if that makes sense.
I would imagine it would be like in that scene of Bloodsport where they dip their hands in glue and then glass, but without the glue or the wrapping.
Yeah.
That's what I figure it's like. And then the popcorn ceiling, it potentially has asbestos, bro. You know what I'm saying? So, you're already in the Arizona desert, where they were testing all the nukes. So these people are just rolling the dice with all kinds of cancer.
And they're not caring. It's the 80s.
No, exactly. It's the 80s. They could look at the Tempe, Arizona sunset. That's beautiful. Yeah.
I don't remember much about the movie Vegas Vacation, but I do remember they did live in the desert, right? And
yes.
For sport, didn't they cook eggs on rocks? And for sport, they let out poisonous snakes for the kids to catch. That's the only one. And the only other thing I remember about Vegas Vacation is the gambling place where they did rock, paper, scissors and guess how many numbers are behind my back. Like that's pretty much it from that movie.
This movie's always given me the vibe that Arizona in the desert is not unlike Australia in general, where creatures roam the earth that are potentially lethal, and anywhere you take a step, you might get a shotgun to the face. Because everyone is armed in this movie.
Oh yeah, you're right. I just love that fight because it's fun and it's chaotic, but it's Looney Tunesy. Like everything's just getting broken and it's a tight space fight scene that plays with its location well. And I like that.
That's Sonnenfeld, man. Barry Sonnenfeld with those camera angles, the close-ups, the dot shots where the camera's just following people as they go. Sonnenfeld is brilliant, man. Not for nothing, a lot of people copy off of Sonnenfeld because movies did not look like this until Raising Arizona.
And you know what I like too is there's a couple shots, like there's the Evil Dead shot up the ladder. They kind of copy that, but a lot of the other shots are not. I mean, just the way he frames. Oh man, what's the little kid's name? Oh man, the fart kid. Buford.
That's Buford.
Yeah, just the way he's framed and the way that they frame, the camera's moving. There's a manic energy. I feel now that I think about the Coen brothers, when I think about No Country Old Men, I mean Deacon shot a beautiful film, but I think wide lens, wide angle, static shots. When I think Fargo, it's more the camera's more dispassionate as well. This one, the camera is a character, and I mean if we look at Sonnenfeld, right? He did Blood Simple, but then he went and did Throw Mama from the Train, which is a very claustrophobic movie, right?
A dark farce. Yeah. It's a farce, yeah.
It's so claustrophobic. When you get in the house with that lady, I remember just feeling oppressed with that camera work. Then he did Big. What's great about Big is he did a good job capturing the spirit of a child in Tom Hanks. And then he moved on to When Harry Met Sally. That's another masterclass in editing and shooting and cinematography. And then Miller's Crossing, which you gotta stick with your boys. And then he did Misery, and then he went to Addams Family, dude. He went to Addams Family to direct. Like he had a big jump. That's successful.
I take a lot of shit from people for saying this, but the Addams Family, Part 1 and 2, those are some of the funniest comedies ever.
Oh, dude. Raul
I'm
Julia.
willing to die on that cross. Raul Julia, Angelica Houston, and a young, disturbing Christina Ricci.
Pitch Perfect. Ricci. Christopher Back to the
Lloyd.
Future. Yeah, Christopher Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Yeah, just excellent. And it's dark, but kids
can
like
dark.
it. Oh man.
It's dark and it nails this FU to the establishment vibe. Mm-hmm. Like they are not sellouts, and they will not compromise, and they will potentially murder you, and then laugh about it.
That camp scene, remember the camping? You're really weird, and she's like, yeah. Yes.
That's right.
But it's such a confident move into directing that he made. But just looking through what he's done, just the cinematography that he pulled off. I mean, Misery, you're in a room. And so, you know what's interesting, what a lot of people don't think about, but you have a dinner scene with 12 people. That's a nightmare to shoot because you got to get every single angle at that dinner scene. Misery, he's in a bed. So what angles have we done already? Okay, well, we've done that angle, so now we have to go to this angle. Then we have to use this, and we have to do this, and like build the claustrophobia. Look up at Annie, give her the power, like the dynamics of it. So yeah, just with this movie, just the way, I mean, I think it was heavily, I heard that Nick Cage and the Coen brothers had a decent working relationship, but Nick Cage wanted to add a lot to his character, but the Coens were like, no, this is a Coen brothers movie. So they,
pretty much.
Which is fair though. I mean, but they were new.
And we should be grateful.
Yeah.
But we should be grateful. We've seen movies where Nick Cage. We've seen movies where Nick
been
Cage
off the chain.
Is just given the run of the room. Mm-hmm. And okay, really, Nick? Calm down. Nick Cage at the end of the day, not to say he doesn't love acting, but the guy's in it for the money. He's buying castles and paintings of dogs playing poker while they're on the moon. Yeah. He's insane. He's in it for the bread, man. He's not in it necessarily for the art.
He needs to be with, so in Mandy, Yorgos, oh man, I forget Cosmatos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George E.
No, his son did it.
Oh.
Yeah, his son did it. But his son has a vision. And so Nick Cage acted within that vision. Adaptation, Spike Jonze. You're in a Spike Jonze movie. You play that role. Even National Treasure, he played a PG character. He toned it down. But then you watch some of these movies where he's almost exploited as an actor. So you're right. He needs a Coen. Not needs. But it's better when he has a Coen brother. It's better when he has... I don't think his performance in Face Off is as great as everyone says it is. I really don't.
No. He's doing a bad John Travolta impression. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and I love the movie, and I love that it has a 92% tomato meter score. That blows my mind. But
because the movie's insane.
Yeah,
That's it.
That was the one American film that John Woo was able to go John Woo with, and so I remember I showed Megan Hard Boiled, and she loves it. That's like one of her favorite action movies now, and I love. But you have babies, you have just the music, then you have his friends at the office, then you have the lady working in the office, and then you get the real like melodramatic scenes, and then just the flying gunfights and the doves. There's so much personality to it. So Face Off, I think, was kind of that. But I like a reined in Cage. And if he has a freak out, it needs to be, it doesn't have to be exploitative. And there's none of that in this movie, though. His character in this movie very rarely yells. His character is just he's subdued. And
that's what he needs to be. Yeah. But I want to ask you a quick question. So who do you talk to when there's something wrong with your semen?
That guy.
Because it seems like something you should get fixed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because after you have 5 kids and then there's something wrong with your semen, maybe that's why the kid writes fart all over the place. You know what I mean?
It's just that guy is squirrely.
Who can we talk to?
Yeah.
Who can we talk to about that?
And she wants another one because the other kids aren't cuddly enough.
They're too big to cuddle, yeah.
It seems like when they get too old to not cuddle anymore, they just go feral.
Exactly.
That was one girl in the Jell-O with an eye bandage.
Mind you don't cut yourself, Mordecai.
Take that diaper off your head. Oh, man. Yeah, but you know what's interesting? He's the foreman at the plant.
Yes.
And she is probably, I don't know, maybe, I don't know what her job is, but I mean, that's a decent, he's the foreman. Like, it's interesting that they were all dressed up. They look nice, but their kids are just absolutely feral.
Indeed. Well, this is about the end of the time in America where you could have a factory job that could pay for a family of 7. Because nowadays, not only are those jobs rare, but they're all done by robots. So, he feels like he's BMOC, big man on campus at this point. I'm the boss. And I tell Polak jokes. Like, don't do that, dude. You're a bad person. You're a bad person.
You just reminded me. Another great moment of HI listening is when he's at the plant and he's just drilling holes. And there's one guy who never works and just smacks gum.
Emmett Walsh.
Yeah, Emmett Walsh. And Emmett Walsh is like, yeah, there's Ricky. You mean Ricky Johnson? No, Ricky down at the other thing. That guy's an idiot. So he's even listening then. Nick Cage is drilling, drilling holes. And he's listening to this story, and he knows the different names of the people that this guy's telling him.
And give credit to Emmett Walsh for bringing out one of the things that movies need. Because one thing that you always got when you watch movies on WPIX Channel 11, New York City, was cool replacements for vulgar language. So Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing. Radio Raheem, he wanted 20 D batteries, Mickey Ficky.
Yeah.
And so Emmett Walsh, no. Not that, Mother Scratcher.
Yep.
So what do you think, man? What are some cool replacements for harsh language, man?
Okay, so
that's what movies need.
So I heard one, I forget where I heard it from, but like you group of mother effers, you punk bunch of suckers. Like
Punk bunch of suckers is so brilliant, man. And there's the always classic HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah.
So that's visual.
So there was another, I was listening to Used Cars commentary or Home Alone. Razza, frazza, fricka, frack it, gag it, do it, dog it,
Razza frackin'. Yeah, that's a Samuel. Yosemite Sam.
Yeah, Razza
frackin'.
Oh man, but in Used Cars, they had a big swearing scene, but then they shifted it to some guys like, oh crap, or, I don't know, I forget what it is, but they had a really weird edit. They're like, whatever, we were having fun. But no, I mean, like Mother Scratchers, punk, because you say it fast, punk bunch of suckers.
Yeah.
Like if
pretty
you,
close.
yeah, because well, I don't want to say it on the thing, but you can either draw